You did it again today. You were talking to someone and you crossed your arms right after they did. Or you laughed, not because anything was funny, but because they laughed first. Or you picked up your coffee cup at the exact moment they picked up theirs. You didn't notice. You never notice. But your brain was watching, copying, mirroring, running a program so ancient it predates language itself. The real answer to why you do this is far stranger than you think. It's not politeness. It's not nervousness. It's not even social bonding, at least not in the way anyone would guess. It's a biological survival mechanism that once decided whether you lived or died. And it's still running, right now. In every conversation you've ever had, here's what's actually happening inside your skull. In 1992, a team of neuroscientists at the University of Parma were studying macaque monkeys. They were mapping the neurons that fired when a monkey reached for a peanut. Routine work. Unremarkable. Then one afternoon, a researcher reached for his own food, and the monkey's neurons fired. The monkey hadn't moved. It hadn't touched anything. It had simply watched. Giacomo Rizzolatti and his colleagues had stumbled onto something that would reshape how scientists understood the human brain. Mirror neurons. Cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing that same action. You see it, your brain does it. Internally, invisibly, instantly. Your brain doesn't just watch other people, it simulates them. Every time you look at a face that's in pain, the pain circuits in your own brain light up. Every time you watch someone reach for something, your motor cortex activates as if your own hand were reaching. You are running a live internal copy of every person you interact with. Not metaphorically, neurologically. Your brain is doing this all day, every day, without asking your permission. But why? Why would evolution build something this elaborate? Go back far enough and the answer becomes obvious. Your ancestors didn't survive alone. They survived in groups. Small, tight, high-stakes groups, where reading the people around you was the difference between eating and starving, between being protected and being abandoned. In that world, the fastest way to understand someone wasn't to ask them questions. It was to become them, briefly, internally, to run their movements through your own motor system and feel what they were about to do before they did it. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued for decades that the social complexity of early human groups was the single greatest pressure on brain development. Not the environment, not predators, each other. The human brain, by Dunbar's model, is essentially a social prediction machine, and mirroring is one of its oldest prediction tools. If your neighbor picked up a rock and tensed their shoulders, your brain mirrored that movement, and you felt threat. If your group leader relaxed and opened their posture, your mirroring system felt safe. You didn't have to think. You felt it first. That feeling was information, life-saving information. That system is still you, and it goes deeper than movement. It shapes your opinions, your taste, your beliefs. In 1999, psychologist Tanya Chartrand published research alongside John Bargh that would become one of the most cited studies in social psychology. They called it the Chameleon Effect. In their experiments, participants interacted with a researcher who was secretly instructed to either rub their face or shake their foot at regular intervals. People who interacted with the face rubber started rubbing their own faces. People with the foot shaker started shaking their feet. None of them reported noticing. When the researchers told participants what had happened, most refused to believe it. The copying is unconscious. That's the point. The system works precisely because it doesn't ask for your approval. Chartrand and Bargh also found something else. When the researcher mirrored the participant, reflected their posture, matched their tone, the participant rated the interaction as smoother, warmer, more enjoyable. They felt understood. They didn't know why. The brain doesn't announce what it's doing. It just delivers the feeling. You've experienced this. You've met someone and walked away thinking, I really like that person. And if you traced it back honestly, part of what you were responding to was the fact that they moved like you. They paused when you paused. They leaned when you leaned. Your nervous systems were in sync, and that sync felt like connection. Because for your ancestors, it was. Synchrony meant safety. It meant group membership. It meant you were surrounded by people you could predict, people whose internal states you understood, because your brain was running live copies of them. When the mirroring broke down, when someone moved differently, responded differently, didn't match the rhythm of the group, that was a warning signal. Something was wrong, either with them or with the relationship. That ancient alarm system is still scanning. Every conversation you have, your brain is monitoring whether the other person is mirroring you and whether you should mirror them. It's running social calculations older than civilization. And here's where it gets genuinely strange. The mirroring doesn't just shape how you feel. Research from Ulf Dimberg at Uppsala University in Sweden has shown that your face responds to other faces faster than you can consciously perceive them. In his experiments, subjects were shown images of emotional faces at exposures so brief they couldn't report seeing them. 17 milliseconds. And yet their own facial muscles responded. A happy face triggered faint smiling. An angry face triggered faint frowning. The response happened before the conscious brain had any idea an image had appeared. You are not deciding to mirror. You were never deciding. The decision was made millions of years before you existed, and your brain has been carrying it out ever since. This creates a loop that most people never examine. When you mirror someone, you don't just copy their posture. You begin to feel what they feel. The internal simulation becomes an emotional experience. This is why watching someone suffer makes you flinch. Why a character in a film can make you cry even though you know they aren't real. Your mirror system doesn't fully distinguish between observed pain and experienced pain. The signal travels the same neural pathways. What you watch, you partially feel. This is empathy. Not as a value or a choice, as a biological mechanism. And like every biological mechanism, it has edges. It has failures. It has things it does that you wouldn't choose if you were running it consciously. Research from John DeSetti at the University of Chicago has shown that the mirror system response to others' pain is modulated by in-group and out-group status. When you perceive someone as part of your group, the simulation is fuller, the empathic response stronger. When you perceive them as outside your group, the signal dampens. The brain still runs the mirror, but it runs it at lower resolution. This is not a moral judgment. It is a description of hardware. Hardware that was designed for small tribal groups, now running inside a species of 8 billion people trying to build civilization. You are a creature built for a world that no longer exists, carrying a nervous system calibrated for groups of 50 to 150 people, now navigating offices and cities and comment sections and global news cycles. Your mirror system sees the face of someone crying on a screen and fires. It sees the face of someone you've been told is your enemy and dampens. It copies the people nearest to you so automatically and so thoroughly that your opinions, your posture, your emotional baseline, your habits are all quietly shaped by the bodies you spend the most time near. You didn't choose your influences. Your mirror neurons chose them for you. Think about that. Tonight, you'll sit near someone. You'll adjust. You'll synchronize without knowing it. Your breathing will slow or quicken to match theirs. Your shoulders will mirror theirs. Your face will track their face. And somewhere underneath all of it, an ancient system will be running its oldest calculation. Is this person safe? Are they like me? Should I stay close? The next time you meet someone and think, I just really like that person, look a little closer. Notice whether you're moving the same way, whether you're finishing each other's pauses, whether the rhythm feels easy. That ease isn't magic. It isn't chemistry. It's two nervous systems that have decided, in the oldest language your brain knows, that you belong near each other. You did it again today. You crossed your arms right after they did. You laughed because they laughed. You picked up your cup at the exact moment they picked up theirs. You didn't notice, but now you know why.